right, welcome back to the TCI Studios. Robert here with
What are you going to do now?
Tennessee Titan Will.
Oh, my gosh. You had to go with the old AFC Central team, didn't you?
Go there.
Which used to be the Houston Oilers.
All right. Well, I'll have to get a little more creative for some of these as we go through this. All right, this one I'm really excited about because I'm really excited to see this guy back on the football field. We're going to talk a little bit about Justin Ross, what we're hearing, new position that we're going to see him at a lot this year. Will, you and I watched the national championship game this year, and a lot of other folks have said the same thing on our boards. Alabama, everybody in the country knew where they wanted to get the football.
Yeah.
And they found a way to do all kinds of things with formations and everything else and get him open where he could get the football.
And him
Clemson, him being Smith.
Right, Devontae Smith.
And now we all said, well, we hope Tony Elliott's taking notes and this, that, and the other. Looks like he took some notes.
Looks like he took some notes and understood that, hey, I got a guy that's probably better than Devontae Smith and Justin Ross. I know people are like, what are you saying?
Better than the Heisman Trophy winner?
Yes. He may not win the Heisman Trophy, but I think from a physical standpoint and everything, I mean, yes, he's like, what, 10, 15 pounds heavier than he is?
Justin Ross also practicing punt returns right now, by the way.
Justin Ross is just as fast. I say he is. I say Justin Ross is more NFL ready than Smith is. That's putting the downside on Smith. So we'll see. Now, Alabama did a great job finding ways to get him open, as we said. So what does Dabo Swinney and Tony Elliott do? Hey, let's take Justin Ross and let's move him to the slot. And that was a genius idea. I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. I was thinking maybe they could do E.J. Williams there and do some different things.
We saw Justin in the Ross in the slot a little bit against Alabama.
We did.
As a freshman when they destroyed the Tide, but we didn't see him there really much the year after.
No.
So now I think it's more them looking at what Alabama did with Smith and saying, hey, as you said, we got a guy that can do that and maybe more.
Exactly, and so you can take him, line him up in the slot. You can bring him in motion. You can take him out wide, move the other guy down in. Really confuse the defense with the matchups there. You get a tight end, you get a linebacker or safety on Justin Ross. And as Amari Rogers said the other day, he's going to kill it as a slot receiver because he said, and this is the part Amari said that surprised me about his comments. He said he runs the best routes of any guy I have seen in my career.
That says a lot.
That says a lot considering the guy who is real famous for playing that slot position named Hunter Renfrow, who broke Mackenzie Alexander's ankles. We saw a bunch in practice and everybody else's at Alabama's. That's surprising to hear that kind of that is a big comment from Amari Rogers. And I don't think he just said it to say it. I think he really believes it.
Well, and it's a big move, not just for what Justin will do, but for what the defense is going to have to do, as you said, to adjust, and what that's going to open up for the other receivers.
Yeah, and so just understand it. So when you get these mismatches, and so you got a guy like Justin Ross lined up, so first thing the safety's trying to figure out, okay, what's he going to do? Then if you put him in motion, that safety's either got to go with them, which is going to give up what their coverage is, or they're going to make that linebacker play him. So if the linebacker's playing him and they're in man, that's a mismatch right there. You go immediately straight to Justin Ross at that point, right? But if so, say they're not in man, say they're in zone, well, they're going to give their coverage away right there pre-snap. So now DJ's going to know what coverage they're in, and so now immediately he's going to know what to do with his outside guys, and that's what it opens up. And it also, let's say they're playing cover 2. Well, and let's say they're playing Tampa 2. Well, what does that do? Well, that opens up the running lanes. So now the linebackers are going to fall back. There's going to be really nobody filling in those lanes. Now you hand the ball off to one of your running backs, and you get 10, 15, heck, maybe even score a touchdown.
And it's, as you said, one of the keys to that is going to be DJ and how he reads that, because he's going to have a quick read on that defense, and he's going to have a quick decision on, hey, Justin's going to be wide open, or Justin is wide open, I'm going there.
Right.
Or he's going to have other things develop off of how the defense is adjusting to that. Now, obviously, Justin is going through spring. He's not doing any contact.
No contact.
He's out there doing basically everything else, running all the drills. As we said earlier, he's doing punt returns and things like that. So he's ready. He's supposed to go back in March to the doctor
later this month.
And all the expectations are that come camp, he's going to be able to do contact. he's going to be able to play this season. And that, you know, we talked about it earlier. Him coming back is just huge difference in this offense.
Absolutely, it is. And I think when they get to camp, if you remember how they did Mike Williams, it was like, okay, he did like a couple of plays in scrimmages, and then they pulled him out. They wanted him to get hit, but not hit the whole time until he played that first game. So I think you're going to see kind of the same way with Justin Ross. In other words, Dabo and them will do that a few times because get him his confidence back, let him see he can take those hits, and then pull him out. You don't need to risk it anymore. Just pull him out. You know, let's take it slowly as he gets used to his body. Because football, getting hit, you got to get your body used to it. It's just something that you just can't go do. You have to do it a couple times to get your body, so you got to slowly do that. And I think that's what they'll do. And then, you know, when he gets back out there and he's going full speed, I don't know if there's anybody better in the ACC. I really don't think there is. You know, even though North Carolina's got some talented receivers, Clemson's wide receiving core, Robert, when you look at him, you know, you just start going through the line, and Joseph Ngata is going to be a guy on a mission. I really believe that because, you know, he didn't like the fact that he couldn't get back on the field last year.
Yeah, Dabo and the coaching staff just bragged about how he was the best player they had seen all camp, and we never got to see that.
Never got to see it. Frank Ladson, another guy, couldn't stay on the field last year. He's got this ton of potential, huge upside to him, blazing speed. This is a guy that can fly by anybody. Might be the fastest guy on the receiving core. Who knows? But, I mean, he's right there with Justin Ross. So, and you got E.J. Williams, who we saw what he did at the end of the year. He's a guy who, right now, I would say is probably a starter sitting on the field side, right? I mean,
so, not to mention the freak, Joe.
Not to mention Joe, who they're cross-training at all three positions, and they think is going to be a guy that can help. And let's don't forget about this guy that wears number 13.
Yeah.
Brandon Spector.
Not to mention Collins Squared.
Collins Squared, yes. I mean, the two Collins boys.
There's just
I like that better than the
plethora of talent there. Now you mentioned, you know, how they're going to take Justin through the process in the August and then camp. One thing obviously that is different this year is the biggest game of the year for Clemson. It's the game that's going to decide whether you go to the playoff or not, possibly, is that Georgia game. If you're Clemson, you got to win that game. So they're going to have Justin ready. Don't you know that Georgia's having fits trying to figure out exactly what we've been talking about? Okay, Justin in the slot, all this other depth at receiver. We're not really sure how Clemson's going to play all this. Obviously, they saw what Alabama did with Devontae Smith, but Clemson's going to have a lot of things to throw at the Bulldogs at that opener in Charlotte, and hopefully we're back to normal. We're on the sideline. I'm on the sideline, Will's up in the press box. Bank of America Stadium's full of
Clemson's
orange
home.
And purple.
Yep, Clemson's home, right?
Yep.
I mean, let's be honest. They've won, what, 6 straight there?
Yep. So it's going to be, when this time we get playing with Charlotte, we don't have to go to Atlanta, which is a home game for the
better
Dogs.
yet, we don't have to go to Athens.
Better yet.
The only thing better than going to Charlotte is playing in Clemson.
Bring that up?
I don't want to go to. Hey, Athens is a great environment, great atmosphere, but if you're a Clemson guy, it's not a good place to be. We all know that.
No.
If you wear orange and you go to Georgia at any point, it's not good. Trust me. It doesn't matter if it's Auburn orange, Florida orange, or Clemson orange.
Yep. All right, guys, that's a little Justin Ross studio exclusive to get you guys excited. We're certainly excited talking about it. So stay tuned to the Clemson Insider for the most complete coverage of Clemson football and recruiting.